If you were to just put your attention on your breath, just watch it. I'm going to start with an intenseness. I was thinking about the words purpose, identity of self, not identity of your label or your title. And I was just
And
thinking, well, you sort of found yourself here. You just sort of woke up and there you were. I don't know how much choice we had in it. I don't know how that works, really. I don't think anyone really does. We have all sorts of theories, but here we are. You found yourself here. You wake up each day in the same sort of way. You wake up, you have a memory of yesterday or the week before or the month before or the year before, but you sort of wake up and there you are. So you might as well make use of it. So in that space, there is who am I and what am I doing here? And in meaningfulness. And I was talking with a friend, well, he's a new friend and he's 67 and he's achieved all sorts of stuff. And we were talking about the transition into retirement and or the next journey or whatever it might be, and identifying ourselves, like who am I now? And the pull of not only the logical, I can afford to, I'm in a position to be able to sort of stop now, stop the work, but when you really look closely, you've been wrapped up in an identity, an idea of yourself that you sort of come to terms with and the world comes to terms with, and those that get to know you sort of go, yeah, well, that's such and that's what they do. And there's often a confusion between what they do and who they are. There's a blend, there's a sort of a weird mix, a gray matter. And so as you look at it, it's like big, because each day you wake up to it. And if you've really worked it through and really connected into who am I and what am I doing here, more than your job, just like a sense of who am I, what am I doing here? I woke up here like I woke up on a planet, that Mr. Bean moment, just sort of waking up and suddenly the light goes on you and you're there and going, shit, and then you do something with it each day, or you just sort of wander in circles or sort of come in and out of this, but don't look too closely because it's a bit scary or too hard. And you just get on with your doing each day, and then you go to sleep that night and you wake up the next morning, and you can sort of do it that way. But most of you are pretty intense about what you're doing. So you come to this, and I'm going to imagine you come to Monday Mentor because it sort of resets you. It's sort of a place where you come and you just check in, and you try and you try to connect to yourself enough to influence the week in a positive way, to have a good week, to have a good day. You try and get some skills. You try and control the space. So we're talking about identity. We're talking about sense of self, because we live this life and we wander the planet, or we find ourselves in one or two places and we sort of stay there, or we sort of find where we are and where we want to live and who we're about, or we just sort of wander and wake up and make it up as we go along. Wherever it is, there's a bit of both. It's either a really good experience or intermittent moments of extraordinary and really mediocre. Whatever it is, where are you running it from? So I just want you, as we go into a bigger breath, put your attention on where you are with that. Not in an intense sort of drowning way, not in a hard way. Just notice, where am I in the idea of me, more than my title? I wake up each day in the experience of being me. I'm a man or a woman, or 32 versions in between these days. And just sort of notice, where am I in my experience? I traveled through school. I got dumped out of my mother's gut into this context. Then I got dumped from there into a school. And then I got dumped from there into a more complex school. And then I got dumped from there. And then my parents moved, and then they broke up, or they stayed together, or whatever it was. And then I got, what are you going to do with your life? Well, I'm going to go to uni, I'm going to do this. And all of these little moments. And I don't know how deeply you thought about it. But right now, as you could just breathe into it, here you are in the real of now. You can't get any more real than that. And in the intensity of Rex's sort of focus this morning, I want you just to rain check that you can really take this more seriously and fine tune it and go, what am I doing here? And what am I connected to? Because talking to this guy yesterday as a friend of a friend, and we were talking about this. He's done a lot in property and he's done all sorts of stuff. But we were sitting there and talking about it. And I said, a lot of my work ends up being with people talking about what they're causing. What are you doing here? What are you causing with your business, with your profession, with your relationship? What are you doing? Like, what are you doing? Have you really sort of mapped it enough to go, I'm sort of on a trajectory and I know who I am and I know what I stand for and I have my values and it's meaningful. So this came from a conversation I listened to Elon Musk talking about AI. And this conversation with people who I get to work with a bit, who are at that time where they start to transition, if they choose, from their incredible focus on the concept of work and identity to another life or different and let go of that identity. And what comes up is this lack of meaningfulness if you haven't mapped it, or who am I now? Or an atrophy, a decline, because I've lost connection with my meaningfulness. You know, I'm not that title anymore. I'm not that leader anymore in that concept. And I'm sort of wandering. I've got my caravan and I'm going around Australia, or I'm traveling to Europe, or I'm back and forth, or I'm just sort of sitting in my shed, or I'm drinking too much, or I'm snorting too much coke, or I'm whatever I am. I'm with my grandkids. So as you look at it all and you think about it, what am I doing here? And meaningfulness, because Elon said, they asked, you know, what is your thinking about this inevitable journey with AI? And there's a big change going on where the concept of work's changing, all of that, and everyone's running around trying to think about what it means. They're against it. They think it's evil. They think it's fabulous, whatever it is, but it's happening. And he said, they said to him, what do you think's the biggest concern as it happens inevitably? He said, the only thing with the change that's really, really concerning is meaningfulness, human meaningfulness, because the game's changing. We're moving to a point where a whole lot of work's being done. Maybe even the concept of work will change into whatever that is, but there's a attachment of meaningfulness to it. And he said the concern as a human being without meaningfulness is not a good place. And a person retiring loses meaningfulness if they haven't mapped it, not a good place. Wandering in your life without meaningfulness is not a good place. So meaningfulness. So as you breathe now, and just breathe into what you have created already of the meaningfulness of your life to date. Don't judge it, just go, I'm at this, I'm at that, I do this. And people go, well, what do you do is sort of the cliche question. And they're associating doing with meaningfulness. And it is. But as you look at it, what am I about? What do I mean? What's my purpose as I walk into a room? What do I bring? What do I stand for? What is my purpose? What am I doing here? Is it meaningful enough to be inspiring? So as you check it, just rain check it, explore it. I invite you to look at that purpose without being intense, without getting all stressed about it. Just go, what am I doing here? And rain check. If you really know, how cool is that? Tick your 5 boxes and go, that's cool, I'm on track. If there's an emptiness, or sometimes I go, what's this about? I just don't get it. Like, is this it? Just rain check and go, I've not connected to my meaningfulness, my sense of self, my I, and what I'm about, and what's meaningful to me. So as you do that, I want you to now to get ready to take that into a deeper breath. Because the first thing you do that gives you a sense of autonomy, a sense of I, is take a breath when you're born. You're still doing it. So there's something connected to the breath that's connected to everything, but it's your breath. And it's really meaningful because if you stop breathing, it sort of wraps up really quickly. That's a big deal. And you can, like in life, you can settle for just being breathed and just breathe because it's automated. Or you can start to take control of the breath. You can start to take control of your meaning. You can start to take control of the meaning of your work. You can take control of the meaning of your relationships, your day. your moment, your life this year. And it might seem a little, whoa, can't we just sort of wake up each day and get whatever? And one day, unless it's St. Patrick's Day, let's get pissed. It's this day, it's that day. It's Easter, thank God it's Friday, thank God, whatever. Or, God, yeah, yeehaw, I'm in. So if you're building something like a business or a commerce or an empire or a cause, whatever it is, just check in. What is my meaningfulness? What am I doing here? I've been here tick tock, year after year, day after day. And then get ready. I'm going to count from 3 to 1, and you're going to go into the big breath. Pulling it in, I'll just check it again. I know you know it, but it is a technique. So let's just rain check the basics. You pull it in from the gut to the top and let it go to where it goes to without pushing it out. And just get that rocking. You'll feel the lightheadedness, the oxygenation, the oxytocin coming in, the DHEA coming in, the pH going into balance, consciousness clicking in, life force. To the gut, then fill the ribs. Imagine the ribs on the side filling. And then let it go to where it goes to. When you get to 30, 40, whatever, breathe out and hold. A lot of stuff going on, because when you breathe out and hold, you cause into hormesis. You go into good stress. In the hold, you go into the stillness. You've got plenty of oxygen, everything's in good order, and sit in the stillness. But it causes stress in the nervous system, causes stress in the system. But it's an incredibly healthy stress. And in that hormesis is what builds our life force, resets us. So the breath hold is really important. When you've held it long enough, when you feel you need to breathe, breathe in and hold again. Count to 15, 20 seconds. Sit in the stillness. The stillness that's in that is connected to the stillness of meditation. The stillness of sitting quietly and contemplating. The stillness of just walking through a forest, sitting thinking, looking at your business, sitting thinking, looking at your life, sitting quietly in the stillness, in the moment, in the breath hold. Not being so busy and so chattery in your brain, so busy that you're not taking a moment to be in the hold, in the breath hold, in the meditation, in the stillness, in the contemplation. Take a moment. Put your fucking phone down. Stop looking at it. Stop flicking through Instagram, social media. Stop. Turn it off for a minute. Don't take it into your bedroom. Stillness. Have moments where there's just you and nature. Sit quietly. Listen to the birds. Shh. Pay attention to the temperature on your body. Pay attention to looking around, but who's watching? Who's looking? When you're doing something, a part of you is watching, but it's also able to pay attention to other things, to calibrate. Notice the awareness in the hold. And when you breathe, go back in and run another round. Close your eyes. Or look around, look at the peripheral vision. Check it out. Look about what's around you. Feel life, feel the tingling, the life force, the energy, the 5 bodies, the physical body, the emotional body, the energy body, mind body, the light body, awareness. And just notice that you're part of something extraordinary and it is meaningful. And also think in the stillness that you bring a certain set of uniquenesses, a DNA that is 1 in 8 billion people. That's something. It's an algorithm that is so complex. One unique perspective, one unique set of gifts. Your presence is a unique view, a unique, quirky take on it all. So your meaningfulness is incredibly significant. You can deny it in life and say, I'm not important, it's not much, I don't do much, good day, bad day. Or you can stop a minute, shh. Some people are scared of the silence. They're scared of sitting in the quiet. They're scared. They have to turn the radio on. They have to have the television on at the same time. They have to be chatting in their head or chatting to someone else. They can't just stop and be still. Shh. But in the stillness comes the inspiration, comes the vision. You can sit quietly and look at your business. Sit quietly and watch your children play. Or sit quietly and look at your friends. Sit quietly and just contemplate. And in the stillness is where you inspire from and great ideas come from. So run another round into the stillness. Really pull the air in and notice it coming in and know that it's going to all the cells in your body, satiating them, bringing the mix of oxygen and CO2. Amazing. As you breathe in, it hops through the respiratory system onto the hemoglobin in the blood supply and travels like a little bus to each cell and distributes the oxygen. The oxygen can't be distributed unless you've got enough CO2. CO2 is very significant. No CO2, the oxygen can't be released. It's a magical balance. As you pay attention, notice your meaningfulness. You have all these senses. One of them is vision. You can see and you can imagine. So you can see the physical world, the three-dimensional world outside you, your immediate realm. But you can also imagine and see opportunity. You can see imagined scenarios. You can hear the auditory cortex. You can hear the most amazing things, sound, music, chatting of a bird, people talking, conversation, language, the sounds being shaped into different shapes and tones we call words or language. Music, poetry. We can be moved emotionally by the kinesthetic feeling sense. It's like a protective field. You can feel, you can sense good day, bad day, good place, bad place, good person, not so comfortable. Taste and smell. They're senses, they give you feedback. They're part of your intelligence. And then you add the thinking mind and you interpret, contemplate, consider, decide. And you bring them all together into this multi-sensory, imagining, feeling, sensing, tasting, smelling, visionary capability. And then you take it and you decide to move this physical body. You're amazing. Now, if you go into a gym and try and lift this body, the weight of your body, you'll find it's really heavy. But as we've talked about before, somehow you can tap into the energy body and you can call on the energy and you make that body move around all day. You can stand up, sit down, lift it, and then add something else you're carrying to the weight. But you would find it very difficult to lift the dead weight of your body. But you're just inside it. You call on this energy that is so extraordinary. I want you to understand, to consider this is you're extraordinary. And if you add meaningfulness to it, purpose, through this multisensory intelligence, you pour it into your intention through your works, through your conversation, your influence, and you create. It's wonderful. Please take it seriously. It's the most wonderful thing. You are a gift. You cause, you influence. I had this idea. What if we did this? Not sure about that. Let me sleep on it. What do you mean sleep on it? You mean I just need to go into a deeper place in stillness and allow it to perturbate, contemplate. And then I'll know, and I'll let you know when I know. How did you know? Well, I thought, I contemplated, I went inside, I imagined, I made phone calls, I thought about it, I contemplated, I sat on the deck, sipped on a fine wine, sat by a fireplace, went for a walk, lay down, meditated, did breath work. To be you is a magical multi-sensory mechanism. It is incredible. Then you come back and you make a decision, or you sit with a bunch of friends around a few coasters in some pub, and someone says, why don't we do this? Oh, we could do that. Oh, we could do that. And then years later, you look back and think, that's how my multi-billion-dollar business began. Let's do that. Let's do it in the garage. There's no rent. We start garage, Microsoft, garage, Apple. In the garage, so many startup, thought, a contemplation, a gathering, a conversation, an action, and you cause stuff. Amazing. So please now, as you pay attention, please take yourself seriously, that whenever you think I'm not much, I'm not good enough, I'm not smart enough, I'm sitting as imposter syndrome, sitting in a room and think, what am I doing here? They're all smart. Whatever that is, however you play that out, if you do, just check a moment and go, because you're extraordinary. And as you allow that silence and that peace, you tap into the idea of your gifts, your talents. Some of you have cultivated them into mastery. Others sort of know you're gifted in some areas, but you just sort of leave it at the level of the gift you were given, and you don't really go harder. You don't practice. You don't take it to another level. That's okay. But it's just you get to miss out on what that brings. When you pour yourself into the gift, or through the gift, and you give from it, as you contribute yourself to where you influence, you see things turn up. Started from nothing, just an idea, a few bucks. I'm dealing with a family office, a business, country people. They started with 50 bucks and not a house. They didn't have a roof over their head. Now it's a $200-300 million operation. As you contemplate that, how many stories have you heard about people started with nothing? I know, sitting there without mentioning any of his privacies, but his uncle, I think it is, the family has built enormous wealth. And he watches that, and at moments he gets to sit with that man, or his grandfather, I can't remember. And there's this mentoring, this moment to sit with him. He whispers a word, he gives an idea, he asks a question, and around the room, the magic of us all. Don't underestimate it. Go back into in this room, the histories. There are people in this room, as you know, with 5 generations of causing something. Iconic influence in a city or a town, your family, your history, the aunties, the grandmothers, whatever the story was back, how it sort of, but started somewhere with some idea. Why don't we do this? Why don't we do that? Let's make a buck. I don't know. And all of a sudden, bang, and now years, generations later, you look and go, holy hell. Slowly bring the breath in, bring the breath out. Understand that you are at cause. The heart coherent breath isn't just breathing. It's running the mixture. 5 seconds in through the nose, 5 seconds out through the nose. It was just fucking breathing. No, it's mixture. It's running a Formula One. It's a certain length of breath through the nose, a mixture. And it causes perfect pH, perfect oxytocin, the balance between the acidity and the alkalinity. It causes DHEA hormone, the youth hormone. Causes your brain to wake up and the holistic nature of it. Just 5 seconds in, 5 seconds out. But I say to people, just do the heart coherent breath every day, 3 times. Do you think people can do it? Most people go, yeah, great idea. But a lot of the time, no judgment. I just didn't have time. I forgot. I'll get to it. Yeah, I'm going to do that next week. Well, I did it once. And you go, Do you have any idea what this causes in you? As they go off to the doctor to get another pill because it's hurting. Something's wrong. I'm foggy, I'm depressed, I'm anxious, I've got a panic attack. I'll take some chemicals. I'm not anti-chemical, I'm just saying, just a simple breath. So as you sit here today and you take seriously this space, we do a breath work. We have a little chat to track your brain to look at something like meaningfulness today, whatever the subject is, and you breathe and you put it in. Your brain is working. It's algorithmical. It's amazing. And it's taking it. Now, if you focus on it and keep it alive, and then at lunchtime, do a heart coherent breath, 5 minutes, just 5 minutes. You keep it going. And then in the evening before you eat, just another 5 minutes. 3 lots of 5 minutes each day. And your brain starts to get the sense of control. It's a pit stop. The irony is the pit stop wins races. Like, it's weird, isn't it? You pull off the track and you go and stop a minute. It's like, I can't afford the time to get off the track. I'll lose. Say, no, dude, you've got to stop and just reset. And you'll win or increase the odds. If you don't take a pit stop, if you don't get still, if you don't stop a moment, if you don't do the breath work, if you don't be careful what you put into the machine with food, if you don't keep a little fit, if you don't have purpose, if you don't have meaningfulness, it's just all the little bits missing. You end up wandering in circles and keep getting mediocre results and go, what's wrong? Why won't it work? So the missing piece is the work within and getting the machine right. And here we are, Monday Mental. And go each Monday, we just check in, but you can do that every day. Just sit for a minute, get your breath work right. So now take another big series of breaths into the gut, pull it to the top, let it go. All the way through to 30, 40, and then out on the breath, out, and then hold. Hold. Wherever it is for you when you get to those breaths, and sit in the stillness of the hold. Now, stillness and meaningfulness go together. So does action. But when you're sitting in a meeting and you sit quietly for a moment and just listen, when you're sitting with somebody and they're talking, just listen. Shh. Listen, become the space holder, the sales guy working with big deals. Shut up a minute and just listen. And as you listen, you'll hear the magical secrets come through, the little hints, the meaningfulness, someone else's intention, what's happening for them. Pick up awareness. They're anxious, they're worried, they're this, they're that, they're stuck in a holding pattern of thinking that isn't useful. You listen, hold the space, and then ask a question. In the stillness, pay attention. Shh. In this place of imagination, one of my clients I've worked with races cars. He's a 5-time Bathurst winner. And he told me, as a little boy with his mum going through the supermarket, because he was in go-karts, and that was part of the journey, as it is with many of these people. He's walking through, but he's pushing what's a racing car, the food trolley, and he's cutting through between aisles, the perfect drive through, the shortest way through the corner. He's already doing that. He's already a top racing car driver, the little boy. You know this. Just understand the imagination faculty, coupled with feelings, coupled with breath, coupled with paying attention, stillness, paying attention to meaningfulness. What do you want to cause? Everything begins with imagination first. And imagination requires you to sit still. Shh. Sit quietly. The first place anything exists is in the imagination. It began with an idea, and then it became a conversation, or you write it down, or you put it into your digital device. So as you notice all of this now, and wherever you are in the breath, go into a gentle breath. Come back into the space, sitting in this virtual reality, which 50 years ago would have been ridiculous, impossible. Sit in this space we're in, where the internet guys caused it in the late 80s, early 90s. Amazon, Facebook, the internet. And now money is becoming invisible into the digital realm. People are fighting, screaming, saying it's all a hoax. There's nothing real, digital gold, blah, 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 blah. There's a little scariness, a little unknown, and just resetting it. Yeah, it's a beautiful thing to be able to do. Working with a huge company at the moment, and just had all the team, or a big part of the team in the room last week. Corporate, first time, everybody in the room couldn't breathe into their gut. And it's the corporate thing at the moment, and we're stuck in our heads, stuck in our shallow breath, stuck in flight, stuck in our acidity. And I'm noticing it more and more and more as I travel, looking at groups and teams, and just going, wow, they're all up here. But just to take a moment to be still, breathe, and think about meaningfulness, not earth-shattering, not sort of having to win everything, just that the meaningfulness connects to your values and connects to your sense of self, and that you're causing something that really means something to you, and you'll find a joy. So on that note, go to your day, and you know where I am if you need anything.